Hello and welcome to Whiskey and Smoke News Network. This is your weekly whiskey, cigar, pipe, and pipe tobacco news program. We will cover the news, upcoming events, new releases, and throw in an interview or educational segment for good measure. We may get saucy. We may even spout some educational knowledge going your way. But we will always try to be entertaining. This program is designed with your enjoyment in mind at all times. This is episode 2 for October 13th, 2025. My name is Chris Kumnick, and I'm your host. Now, I need to start out this episode with a couple of corrections from last week's episode and own up to one major faux pas on my part about last week's episode. So first, I said in the last week's episode, we'd be listening to an interview with Tucker McCormick from Algiers Club. That is not the case. What I didn't realize when I was producing last week's video is that when Robert Likarish and I of Iron Root Republic Distillery, sat down, we sat down for almost 2 hours, and I did not feel that would be a good way to go on the first episode, to have all the news and then a 2-hour interview afterwards. So what I did was I split it up into 2 parts. So tonight you will get to listen to part 2 of that interview. And let's just say that it's pretty interesting because we get to see some new releases that they have since last week put out that they're releasing. But I'll just say that they're amazing. Can't wait, and it should be a good fun time. And on that note, next week we will be listening to the interview I did with Tucker McCormick from the Algiers Club. The second thing I need to correct from last week's episode happened in the events section. Not once, but twice. I mentioned that Julianne Hernandez would be giving a masterclass down at the Houston Scotch Whisky Society's Behind the Dram number 3, as well as at the Algiers Club in Dallas, Texas. I was incorrect, but not for the reason you might think. You see, Julianne Hernandez is not her name. It's Julianne Fernandez. Fernandez, not Hernandez. My mistake. So, Julianne, I apologize. It won't happen again. And as a little sneak peek, I was able to capture a interview I had with her after the Algiers Club masterclass that she did so wonderfully well this last Friday night. So, thank you, Julianne and Julianne Fernandez. So, now, for my major faux pas from last week. As I was introducing myself, I obviously said I'm a son, I'm a brother, I'm a father. What I failed to say is that I'm a husband also. Let's just say that a certain someone caught that little missing part right away. And if you look at my script, it was in there. I just missed it. Maybe Freudian slip. I don't know, but I did. And yeah, 31 years married. All is good. Love my wife, Melissa. She's all behind this, and I'm very appreciative. So, yes, not a good look, but anyway, I paid for it a lot this week, but it's all good. It's all good. So anyway, now let's take a sneak peek at part 2 of the interview with Robert Likarish up at Iron Root Republic Distillery.
All right, next up, we're going to jump to Saints Alley 10-year-old Harold.
Why don't you show me the
bottle again. Yeah, let me show you the real bottle.
Yeah, the real bottle.
So this is, doesn't have the real liquid in it yet, but this one. But this is the new bottle, the
Yep.
new glass.
New bottle, new glass.
Yeah.
Saints Alley, 10 years. Cigar blend.
Yeah. So
Truly.
starting in March, everything will be in that bottle.
It's a beautiful bottle. You
But
guys did knock that out of the park.
this
Truly.
is the first product we're doing in it.
Yes. Fantastic. Fantastic. All of that and more. But now let's talk about whiskey news. The Distillers 1 of 1 auction was held this last Friday, October 10th, at the Hopeton House, with Sotheby's providing the drama and then collecting and attracting higher bids. As the dust settled, almost 2.9 million pounds were raised for the Youth Action Fund. That's the charity that they did all this for. With the highest bid being bid upon the Glenlivet 60-year-old bottling called Spira. This ended up selling for 520,000 pounds plus buyer's fee, but 520,000 pounds was the bid. It was supposed to go for like 110,000 pounds. It ended up going for 520,000 pounds. So I believe they smashed all records. The prior 2 years together had been 4.3 million pounds, and this year alone was 2.9. So good year for that auction, and it'll be coming back in 2 years' time. So 2 years from now in October, there will be another Distillers 1 of 1 auction, and can't wait to check that out. So in regards to the ongoing Uncle Nearest saga, on August 22nd, the court-appointed receiver Philip Young Jr. Took over operations, temporarily removing founders Fawn and Keith Weaver from the management. Young remains optimistic about the company's future, citing its strong value and a 13-week budget that covers most expenses, with Farm Credit agreeing to fund another $2.5 million shortfall. To stabilize finances, Young reduced the workforce by 13% and is considering liquidating non-revenue producing assets, including a cognac estate in France and a recently acquired vodka brand, as launching the cognac venture would require an unaffordable $15 to $25 million additional dollars. While allegations of financial improprieties by former employee are under investigation, no evidence of misconduct by the Weavers or current staff have been found. Young aims to restructure the company by Q1 of 2026. In a tit-for-tat trade dispute, Canadian provinces, including Ontario and Quebec, removed American spirits from government-controlled liquor stores in March in response to a 25% tariff on Canadian goods imposed by the Trump administration, leading to a sharp 66% drop in U.S. spirit sales in Canada through April and an 80% plunge in Ontario alone. Although tariffs on USMCA compliant goods included alcohol were lifted in August, renewed hikes on non-compliant items kept tensions high. And only Alberta and Saskatchewan have restocked U.S. products. Exports to Canada remain drastically reduced, falling to 2.9 million in May from 22 million the previous year. This shift has boosted Canadian whiskey sales by 5% year over year, while American whiskey volumes declined by a third, prompting trade groups like the Distilled Spirits Council, DISCUS, to urge tariff-free trade restoration to avert the $361 million lost Canadian tax revenue. U.S. firms such as Brown-Forman reported a 59% sales drop for brands like Jack Daniel's in the first quarter. The overall liquor sales at outlets like LCBO, that is the Liquor Control Board of Ontario, held steady as consumers pivoted to local and alternative options, raising questions about whether this marks a lasting change in market loyalties. The EU spirits market is navigating some very choppy waters. In the 4 weeks ending September 7th, sales fell 2.1%, an improvement from last month's 3% decline, despite tougher comparisons, though 12-week volumes are down 4.1%. Vodka shone with a 1.4% sales uptick, but gin, whiskey, and rum saw declines of 4.6%, 3.4% and 2.45% respectively. Diageo faced a steep 6.9% sales drop. Pernod Ricard held steady at a 0.5% dip, and Campari gained 1.2%, and Remy Cointreau nearly stabilized at 0.7% decline. Italy saw a 0.9% sales increase. Spain remained flat, but Germany and France reported drops of 4.1% and 2.2%. With mixed fortunes across brands and regions, will the EU spirits sector rebound or face prolonged slump? Keep listening for the latest. Okay. Step aside, boomers. Gen X is now the top spender in town, according to a fresh Numerator report. Born between 1965 and 1981, Gen X households claimed 34.1% of consumer packaged goods, general merchandise, and quick service restaurant sales in the year ending June 30th, edging out boomers, who shares dropped from 35 to 33.7%. While boomers still represent 36% of U.S. households, their spending has slid nearly 10 points since 2020, while millennials and Gen Z together grabbed 32% of sales, up 8 points in 5 years. Gen X leads with 824 annual shopping trips and $25,468 per household, though millennials top per trip spending at $33. With generational spending shifts reshaping the market, brands need sharp, tailored strategies to capture today's dollars and tomorrow's loyalty. Stay tuned for more on this retail revolution. In the latest UK Food and Drink Federation trade snapshot for the first half of 2025, UK whiskey exports to the US dipped 3.9% in value and 3.4% in volume, totaling £458.9 million, marking it the sole decliner among the top 10 UK food and drink exports to the market. Despite overall UK exports surging 18.9% year over year, the downturn is largely attributed to the 10% US tariff imposed in April, with which the Scotch Whisky Association estimates is costing the industry nearly £20 million monthly in lost sales. While whiskey remains the UK's leading export to the US, salmon and gin trail as the next biggest categories, underscoring the sector's resilience amid trade headwinds. In other tariff news, per Bloomberg, there might be a potential transatlantic trade thaw. Trump administration officials are weighing options to ease the 10% U.S. tariff on Scottish whiskey imports, following discussions raised by the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer during President Donald Trump's September state visit, according to sources familiar with the talks. The move, which could save the UK industry $20 million monthly in lost exports, is pitched as mutually beneficial, bolstering Kentucky's bourbon sector through its $300 million annual trade in used casks, essentially for 60% of Scotch aging, per the Scotch Whisky Association. While no final decision has been reached amid Trump's reluctance for exemptions, Scottish First Minister John Sweeney's recent Oval Office advocacy and U.S. industry support from the Distilled Spirits Council add momentum, potentially easing holiday season pressures on American bars and offering a diplomatic win for Starmer's premiership amid ongoing steel tariff hurdles. In a blow to the Stoli Group USA, a Texas bankruptcy judge rejected the vodka maker's Chapter 11 plan to settle $78 million in debt to Fifth Third Bank using 35,000 barrels of unfinished bourbon and other alcohol inventory. Citing a plummeting global bourbon market, Judge Scott Everett, in a Friday bench ruling, expressed doubts about the collateral's value, swayed by the bank's expert, describing a dismal market with falling demand and oversupply driving prices down. Stoli, grappling with a 2024 ransomware attack, post-COVID demand slump, and a long-standing trademark dispute with Russia, proposed having an affiliate act as the bank's sales agent and offered a conditional Louisiana property lien, but Everett deemed these insufficient, urging both parties to craft a revised plan without requiring a new creditor vote. After a record-breaking 2024, U.S. distilled spirits exports dropped 9% year over year in the second quarter of 2025, hammered by persistent trade tensions, according to the Distilled Spirits Council of the United States mid-year report. Key markets bore the brunt. The EU, representing half of all exports, fell 12% to 290.3 million. Canada plunged 85% to under 10 million amid ongoing provincial bans despite tariff relief. The UK declined 29% to 26.9 million, and Japan dropped 23% to 21.4 million. These four markets account for 70% of total exports. Categories like American whiskey down 13%, vodka down 14%, and cordials down 15%. Saw double-digit losses, exacerbating domestic challenges and slowing demand, and tripled inventories since 2012. Discus CEO Chris Swanger warned of consumers shifting to local alternatives, urging President Trump to restore 0-for-0 tariffs with partners like EU and the UK to safeguard the industry's growth. Ontario Premier Doug Ford is doubling down on his threat to pull more liquor brands from LCBO shelves in response to Diageo's plan to close its Crown Royal bottling plant in Amherstburg, which employs nearly 200 workers, as part of a supply chain restructuring expected to save $8 million in wages. Speaking at a Quebec City summit, Ford criticized Diageo, which owns brands like Guinness, Bailey's, Smirnoff, and Captain Morgan, noting that the LCBO, the world's largest alcohol purchaser, generates over $765 million annually for the company, more than any other jurisdiction in North America. Ford vowed to remove Crown Royal from shelves the moment the plant shuts, and hinted at targeting Smirnoff next, signaling a bold move to hold corporations accountable for undermining Ontario's workforce. The ongoing U.S. government shutdown in 2025 is hitting the wine and spirits industry particularly hard, stalling new product launches as the Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau, the TTB, has halted all label and formula approvals, leaving new releases not approved before the shutdown stuck in limbo. With the critical holiday season approaching, this is when alcohol sales can surge by up to 50%. The freeze on certificates of label approval is particularly painful for spirits producers who need approval for every new flavor, unlike wineries using existing labels for vintage changes. The shutdown also pauses export promotions, delays tax rebates, and slows import processing due to staff shortages, while August depletion data shows a grim 16.3% drop in wine and 10.3% in spirits compared to 2024. As the backlog grows, industry leaders like Andrea Nappi-Conform of the National Association of Beverage Importers warn that a prolonged shutdown could delay new products until 2026, threatening a vital, innovation-driven sector. Kentucky bourbon industry is bursting with a record 16.1 million aging barrels across 127 distilleries, the most since Prohibition's repeal, driving a $10 billion valuation and nearly 3 million annual visitors to the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, according to the Kentucky Distillers Association. However, this milestone comes with a hefty $75 million barrel tax bill in 2025, up 27% from last year, as Kentucky remains the only region taxing aging spirits, while a 2023 law promises a 20-year phase-out of this tax with 4% reduction starting next year. KDA President Eric Gregory warns that trade tariffs, shifting consumer habits, and global bourbon demand slowdown threaten exports and long-term growth. With 17.1 million total barrels aging for future markets, Gregory is pushing for tariff-free trade agreements to secure Kentucky's dominance in American whiskey. The UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer's first visit to India as PM spotlights the Scotch whisky industry as a key beneficiary of the recently signed India-UK Free Trade Agreement, which is projected to boost Scotland's economy by £190 million annually and create over 1,000 UK jobs by tapping into India's $1 billion whiskey market. The July agreement, finalized after 3 years of negotiations, 3 years, slashes tariffs on UK whiskey from 150% to 75%, with a further reduction to 40% over the next decade, enhancing market access for brands like Johnnie Walker and Glenfiddich in India, a top global market for Scotch. Joined by Diageo and Scotch Whisky Association representatives, Starmer aims to strengthen trade ties amid ongoing efforts to address U.S. tariffs, with the FTA expected to increase bilateral trade by $25.5 billion by 2040, fostering deeper economic and diplomatic connections through meetings with Indian prime ministers and business leaders. How does a whiskey from Antarctica sound? Well, you're now in luck. La Alazana Distillery in Argentina has unveiled Isla Marambio, the world's first single malt whiskey matured in Antarctica. In partnership with the New World whiskey bottler, Cask World, part of the upcoming 8-continent series, a global whiskey project set to release in 2026, this 8-year-old single malt was initially aged in virgin oak in Patagonia before spending 3 years in ex-bourbon casks at Argentina's base Marambio in Antarctica. Exposed to extreme temperatures ranging from negative 35 degrees Celsius to 10 degrees Celsius, the whiskey underwent rare maturation processes that distiller Lila Serenelli described as producing unique floral notes and minimal evaporation. I can imagine there's not a lot of evaporation there. Transported with support from the Argentine military, Isla Marambio marks a bold step in whiskey innovation and storytelling through climate and geography. In some motorsports news, Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey and the McLaren Formula One team have extended their global partnership for multiple years, building on a collaboration launched in 2022 that has fueled thrilling fan experiences and exclusive releases. The deal ramps up co-branded efforts with the new limited edition bottles and immersive Jack's Garage activations rolling out in key international markets. Following successful events in Australia, Great Britain, and the US, including celebrations of the McLaren 2024 Constructors' Championship victory. The 2025 limited edition bottle, honoring the partnership, debuted earlier this year in the select US markets and F1 race cities worldwide, blending high-speed racing heritage with smooth Tennessee whiskey tradition to delight enthusiasts everywhere. Chicken Cock Whiskey, one of America's oldest whiskey brands, is expanding to Louisville with the opening of a new tasting room in the city's New Lou neighborhood. The new location marks the second of the brand's circa 1856 tasting rooms, following the original in Bardstown, Kentucky, which opened in 2024 and is now part of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. Set to open this fall, the space will feature curated flights, guided tastings, craft cocktails, and limited edition releases in a stylish, heritage-inspired environment. Pursuit Spirits, founded by the creators of the Bourbon Pursuit podcast, has announced that its first international expansion through a partnership with European distributor N10 Bourbons. The brand's award-winning Pursuit United Bourbons and Ryes are now available in the United Kingdom and the EU. The launch includes Pursuit United Bourbon and Rye at 88 proof, Pursuit United Double Oaked Bourbon and Rye at 108 proof, and limited allocations of Pursuit United Barrel Proof Bourbon and Rye. The initial rollout will be available via the whiskyexchange.com in the UK and Colibri's spirits.com and dinewhiskey.de for the EU markets. Buffalo Trace Distillery has unveiled its 2025 Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, also known to most as their B-Tech lineup, celebrating its 25th release, and introduces E.H. Taylor Bottle and Bond as a new permanent addition alongside its 5 legacy expressions. All bottles carry an SRP of $149.99. Good luck finding them at that. And the 2025 expressions include an Eagle Rare 17-year-old bourbon, aged 18 years 4 months, bottled at 101 proof. George T. Stagg bourbon, aged more than 15 years 4 months, bottled at 142.8 proof. Sazerac 18-year-old rye whiskey, aged 18 years 5 months, bottled at 90 proof. Thomas H. Handy rye whiskey, aged over 6 years, bottled at 129.8 proof. And a William LaRue Weller bourbon, aged 14 plus years, bottled at 129 proof. The addition of the E.H. Taylor Bottled and Bond bourbon is aged 15 years 4 months and bottled at 100 proof. This marks the first new addition to BTAC in nearly 2 decades, and the first time E.H. Taylor has been permanently included. In cigar news, the Premium Cigar Association, PCA, alongside major manufacturers like Rocky Patel, Olivia, and Padron, saw their emergency bid for a temporary restraining order to delay California's unflavored tobacco list regulations under Assembly Bill 3218, rejected by the U.S. District Judge Monica Ramirez Almandani on October 8, 2025. Due to procedural issues, upholding the October 9th deadline for submissions to ensure inclusion in the state's initial UTL by December 31st. Despite unsuccessful negotiations with the California Attorney General's office and a prior unanswered preliminary injunction request, the PCA's broader legal challenge filed October 3rd continues, arguing the regulations' arbitrary and unfeasible timelines threaten the premium cigar industry's operations. While late filings will be reviewed, they risk delayed or denied market access, prompting the PCA to explore further legal avenues to protect the industry's economic contributions. We will continue to monitor the unfolding events in this ongoing saga. Plasencia Cigars has added a short size to 2 of its lines, Reserva Original and Alma Fuerte Colorado. Both cigars are part of what Plasencia is calling the Short Smokes Collection. They have begun shipping to retailers early this week. Rocky Patel has introduced a new cigar called DBS, Double Broadleaf Selection. It is 2 distinct broadleaf tobaccos wrapped in a Mexican San Andreas leaf. 3 letters, 1 unforgettable moment. Check with your local tobacconist to see if they will be carrying them soon. Rocky Patel is also launching a new line of lighters called the Statesman Lighter Series. It is crafted with an all-metal frame, angled flame, and refined detailing. No details on pricing. La Aurora and the PCA have relaunched Especiales in the U.S. The cigar was born from tradition, collaboration, and the voices of over 100 retailers across the country. This relaunch is limited to just 200 boxes per format. Contact your local tobacconist to see if they will be carrying them. Alec Bradley is bringing back its limited edition Filthy Gooligan cigar just in time for Halloween, offering a seasonal spin on its popular St. Patrick's Day Filthy Hooligan with a spiderweb themed design. Handcrafted in Honduras, the 6x50 Toro boasts a barber pole wrapper of U.S. broadleaf and Ecuadorian Habano tobaccos, an Indonesian Besuki binder, and a complex filler blend with Nicaragua's Alapa, Esteli, and Condega Valleys, plus Dominican Pilito, delivering a smooth, sweet, and layered smoking experience. Brand ambassador Bradley Rubin emphasizes that beyond the spooky branding, the cigar's 7 tobaccos from 5 countries ensure serious quality and flavor. Now shipping to retailers in 24-count boxes at $14.50 per cigar before taxes. Filthy Gooligan is set to captivate cigar enthusiasts this fall. Macanudo is ringing in the holiday season with the launch of its limited edition Macanudo Inspirado Holiday Window Box, a curated sampler featuring 5 Toro-sized cigars from its acclaimed Inspirado collection, compared with a durable quad torch lighter and priced at $59.95. The set includes the smooth yet complex white, 6.5 by 50, spicy orange, 6 by 50, bold broadleaf black, 5.5 by 54, unique Brazilian-influenced green, 6 by 50, and a fiery red, 6 by 50, crafted with volcanic soil tobacco, offering cigar enthusiasts a chance to savor the full range of Macanudo's craftsmanship. Perfect for giving or personal enjoyment, as senior brand manager Matt Wilson notes. The set elevates holiday moments and is rolling out to select U.S. retailers starting in October of this year. Room 101 Cigars is reigniting excitement for the holiday season with the return of its iconic Namakubi Chingan, reimagined with a bold new blend and a striking blue packaging, crafted in collaboration with William Ventura at Tamboril in the Dominican Republic. This full-bodied 5.5 by 60 cigar features a San Andreas Maduro wrapper, Sumatra binder, and fillers from Pennsylvania broadleaf, Nicaragua, and the Dominican Republic, delivering complex notes of dry nuts, dark chocolate, espresso, oak, ginger sweetness, and a black pepper spice with aromas of breadfruit, wood, and cedar. Founder Matt Booth touts its strategic aging for a victorious flavor profile, while master blender Viber Ventura hails their creative synergy. Priced at $25 per cigar, the Namakubi Chingan ships in signature 10-count piano-finished boxes starting on October 2nd. So they should already be on their way to your local tobacconist. So get with them and check and see if they have them. Lure Cigars has launched its 4th core line, the Maduro series, introducing 2 Nicaraguan Puros, the Brown E. Trout, 6 by 54 Toro, and the Little Trout, a 5 by 52 Robusto. Building on last year's limited catch-and-release Brown E. Trout success with a full production release, as announced by owner Lou Cross. Featuring a rich, dark chocolate brown Nicaraguan Maduro wrapper with Esteli, Condega, and Alapa binder and filler tobaccos. These boxed pressed cigars deliver a bold, full-bodied smoke, packaged in a 10-count craft paper bundles with Boveda humidification packs for freshness. Produced at La Tabacaria factory and distributed by Valacari Cigars, the Brown E. Trout retails at $13 and the Little Trout at $12, now shipping nationwide to retailers. Cavalier Genevieve Cigars has unveiled its 3rd Project Broadleaf release, dubbed Wayfinders, a bold addition to its core lineup featuring 2 unique vitolas, a 5 7/8 by 52 Parejo, retailing for $170 per 10-count box, and a 9 by 48 Parejo, retailing for $280 per 10-count box. They are crafted with a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper, Hamastran binder and fillers from Estei, Hamastran and Indian with tobacco aged over 5 years for a rich, intense profile. Launched this week and handmade at their Honduras factory, the Wayfinders blend is tailored to each size, marking the 3rd of 4 distinct annual Project Broadleaf releases for 2025, with the final iteration set for November and all inventory already allocated. Founder Sebastian Decopet highlights the cigar's robust complexity, positioning them as a standout for enthusiasts, with plans for the series to continue annually with potential blend tweaks. In pipe and tobacco news, in a treat for pipe tobacco enthusiasts, Cornell & Deal's head blender Jeremy Reeves announced the return of the Haunting Cake for the 2025 Halloween season, reviving a beloved blend in collaboration with Warp Cigars' Kyle Gellis after a 3-year hiatus. Originally launched in 2018, the Haunting blends sweet and tangy red Virginia tobacco with earthy AA Dominican relief and a touch of cigar leaf black Cavendish, offering a rich, balanced smoke with notes of baking spices and cinnamon. Now pressed into a cake format, the 2025 release enhances its depth through fermentation, delivering sweeter, more subdued aroma that appeals to fans of Virginia and cigar-style blends alike, while serving as a bridge for pipe and cigar smokers seeking a unique seasonal experience. Now, in upcoming events, there will be a Single Cask Nation masterclass and dinner at the Whiskey Crusaders in Hurst, Texas on October 16th. Tickets still available. The Ardbeg Masters of Smoke Tour comes to Dallas, Texas at the Lakewood Medallion Discount Liquor on October 16th from 6 to 9 p.m. The Whiskey Washback Festival will be coming to Dallas at the Empire Room on October 17th from 6 to 9 p.m. And the festival also visits Chicago on November 7th at the Sarabon Chicago from 6 to 10 p.m. On October 18th, the Whiskey Riot will be held in Oklahoma City at the OKC Blue at the Cox Convention Center from 3 to 7 p.m. The Las Vegas International Pipe Show will be returning to Palace Station Casino and Hotel on October 24th through the 26th. This is one of the only pipe shows in the U.S. that allows pipe smoking on the show floor, and is one of the major pipe shows in the U.S. that brings in pipe artisans from all over the globe to sell their wares. See their website for details. Tickets are still available. The Ohio Craft Whiskey Festival will be held at the Henmick Brewery and Farm in Delaware, Ohio on October 25th. Cigar Aficionados Big Smoke will happen at the Horseshoe Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada on October 31st through November 1st. This is one of Cigar Aficionados' largest events and should always be quite memorable. The 2025 Arkansas Whiskey Festival will be happening at the River Market Argenta Plaza in Little Rock, Arkansas on November 1st from 4 to 7 p.m. The Premium Spirits and Cigar Festival will be happening at the Luxury Events Atelier in Miami, Florida on November 8th from 6 to 10 p.m. And for those of you who live in South Dakota, the Big Whiskey Tasting Event will be happening along Main Street in Deadwood, South Dakota on November 8th from 4 to 8 p.m. And now we move on to our Pop the Cork in-depth interview of the week. So please sit back, grab a dram, pour that glass, pick out a good stick, torch it up, pack a bowl, soft flame away, then listen to part 2 of our interview with Robert Likarish of Iron Root Republic Distillery, where we finish our wide-ranging talk about all things Iron Root, and we get a sneak peek into some upcoming releases. Please enjoy. Okay. What have you found the biggest challenges as a craft producer?
Ooh. So the biggest challenges as a craft producer is going to be on the sales side. Okay. I mean, it's learning how to make spirits. Ultimately, like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of finesse and a lot of really unique small twists on it, but the general concepts for distillation, mashing, they're not super difficult to wrap your head around. That part, getting the equipment to do it's also not incredibly difficult. It's everything that comes from after you make the product of what you have to do to survive as a business. Because I think most of us that come to distilling, at least in the early years, in the last few years, it's changed a bit as different people have gotten into trying to start brands. But the guys who are starting the distilleries early on, our focus and our love was so much on the production and making the product and babying along in the process that most of us didn't have any sort of concept of the sales side of things, which obviously is what makes it so you survive. Correct. So if you're in an area that doesn't have naturally high traffic, trying to convince people to drive an hour to come visit you, or to go into a liquor store, to talk a liquor store owner into bringing in your product when you have no history of sales, and because I think the first question is like, how do I know any of my customers even want your product? Right. Like, if I'm going to bring this in. Like, what are we going to do? I think that's one of the biggest challenges, getting distribution, getting product out on shelves, and then letting people you exist. I mean, social media is an amazing thing that it's allowed a lot of things that you couldn't have done 20 or 30 years ago are available now, where you can find out about things.
And almost virtually free.
Yes.
I
I mean,
there's always a cost, but yes.
I mean, you got to have something you can post it on. But
sure.
But to create a Facebook or Instagram account, it's not
right.
intensive or really expensive. But still, at the same time, it's
powerful.
Yeah.
Immensely powerful.
And how do you harness that to let people you exist? And how do you capture attention of people? And I think it's one of those things that, you start talking to like marketing firms or whatnot, the question always gets asked, well, who's your customer? And you're like, my brother is like, I'm a chemist engineer. Like, my customers are people that want to drink whiskey.
Yeah.
And that's not really how a lot of the other world tries to approach it. And so it's just, and then even navigating the laws of getting onto shelves and going through all that process is a whole ordeal.
A nice three-tier.
Oh, God.
Three-tier system.
I remember when we first started building the distillery, you could not sell directly to consumers in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
You could
not even here, right?
You could sell a tour where you let people taste things,
but you couldn't let them buy a bottle here. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Some people tried to do things where you got a free bottle with a tour or something like that, which is
and the tour cost $35.
Yeah, 35 or $50. There's a lot of debate on the legalities of what that was at the time. Fortunately, times have changed on that. Laws have helped out a lot more. But again, when you first started, so we were required, we have to go through a distributor in the state of Texas.
Right.
And at the time, you couldn't sell directly to people. So like starting a distillery, the only thing you could do was try to get a distributor.
Yeah.
Well, there's only a handful of distributors.
Yes.
And convincing one of them to bring on a brand that no one knows about and has, 2 kids and their moms starting it out, it's not an easy thing. And to even get into like, how do you even know how to present to these guys or what they're going to be interested in, what they're going to want to see? If you don't have years of experience in the industry, how would you know even how to talk to? They talk a different language, almost.
Yeah. It's not like you were one of the Bean family members going in and saying, "Hey, I've got a new brand, and I want you guys to carry it." And then them going, "Absolutely,
that sounds great." And they're like, "Who are you? What do you know about any of this?"
Exactly.
Like what when incentive programs were going to run, like they start talking about all these things, and like I was like, I didn't know how much percentage that they were supposed to take to do what they're going to do. I mean, I think that to me was the more difficult part of it, because some of that, like, unless you had been engrossed into it from like a previous job, it doesn't work like distribution of other products. Even like if you make widgets and you have a distributor for your widgets, it doesn't work the same. Like, again, when you go back to, fortunately, the laws have changed in the last couple of years here, but you go back 5 years ago even, I couldn't walk into a liquor store and try to pitch my product to a liquor store, but even tell them to buy from the distributor.
Right.
I had to have a distributor representative with me anytime I went into a restaurant or a liquor store to try to sell my product that didn't already carry my products.
I did not know that.
And so when you think about it, so like, okay, well, we have, like, for us, we were very fortunate. We got with Southern Glazers, the largest distributor in the country. But them, I'm looking at them in a division within their company. Within our division, there are 2,000 brands.
Right.
And they had, 7 or 8 salespeople. Well, trying to, like, okay, so if we have 7, 8, let's say if they divided up the brands evenly, which they don't, they'll sell the same brands. But even if they did, they represent hundreds of brands.
Yeah, correct.
And now, okay, how many days in a month do you have, or in a year? You have 365 minus, 100 for weekends.
Right.
All right, now we're down to 200. So if they have 250 brands, how often are they going to be talking about your product?
Exactly. Yes.
And how often can they take you on to go with them to go sell to new places?
Well, and how many days do you have?
When you're not making stuff.
You've got to be here to be making. Exactly. Yeah. No, I guarantee you most people don't even think about that. I mean, that challenge, just that one challenge is amazing.
It's immense, and that's survival or death on that. I mean, it's one thing to make, trying to make whiskey that's really good, which is difficult enough as it is.
Correct.
But then to get it in people's hands I really
that's actually probably harder. Like, I think you were even saying that has to be harder than the whiskey.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. Yeah,
I was very naive when we started. When I was naive, I was more of a field of dreams. I'm like, if we build it, people will just come.
Yeah.
I remember when we first started our first year, we had the bar that used to run here when we could run the bar inside this room. We were open on Friday and Saturday nights, and I remember some Fridays we'd have one person come in in 6 hours.
Yeah,
and you've prepped all this fruit and done all this stuff, and and then you have the one person sitting down having a cocktail, and you're just kind of staring at me. It's really awkward at that point too. But you'd sit in there and you have to grind through those things and be like, okay, well, how do we get this? How do we make this work?
Well, you guys at the time also, I mean, I guess a lot of craft distillers seem to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You were making your brandy.
Mm-hmm.
You're making brandy.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you made some moonshine.
Oh yeah, we got
made some
vodka and moonshine.
Vodka.
Mm-hmm.
So
and gin
and gin,
mm-hmm.
and that pays the bills. I mean, to a certain extent.
Theoretically, yeah.
But it's
more so than the whiskey in the barrel does.
Correct, exactly. I mean, it's something that you can make today, bottle it, sell it tomorrow. Technically,
right.
There you go. So,
yeah, you're talking that's a week to make versus years to make.
Years to make,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is why the sourcing whiskey game, again, that was a much better business model. That even though we do some sourcing now, we didn't even start doing that till 2020.
Wow. So you were literally surviving off of your own
vodka, moonshine, and gin for pretty much 3 years.
And then you started just putting out your stuff.
Started putting out whiskey.
Your whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
That's very unusual. I mean, not in a bad way. I mean, just not what most people do.
No, because it's a worse business model.
It's just, again, it's trial and error. I think some people starting today would be, wise to it. So they go, okay, no, we're gonna
do this.
Yes.
Now, don't get me wrong,
and let people know that it's sourced and
be honest about it.
Exactly right.
And what's crazy though that even has its own pitfalls doing that.
Yeah.
Because you get customers that recognize your brand and get used to drinking whiskey that tastes a certain way.
There you go.
And then if you change when your product comes out, if it doesn't taste like that,
right?
Then all of a sudden you're trying to explain to your customer well, they're like, but I just want that other thing, and you're like, but isn't this cool thing I made and
same name and no, I get it that 100%, and that I've thought of that too. That it's like, okay, there has to be a point where you go, we're going to cut over to our stuff now, and you just kind of make it a new product, and and then so it's not that,
and that's or a new brand. You look at
brand name. That's what I meant. Yeah,
like
brand name.
Like New Riff. You look at them. They were OKI originally, and they've obviously sold that brand off to another gentleman now. But they created basically a brand new brand, starting essentially from scratch, which is also like again, you have a lot of equity in your name, in the name, and all this stuff. And if you just start over, like it's a gutsy move too, because you're like, all right, new flavors through this,
right.
But you have that as a thing that some people did. You have some people like High West started blending their own distillate into the MGP. And that again had its own pitfalls as they were attempting and trying to do that. I mean, no matter what you do on that end, there's just a struggle that's going to exist no matter what you do.
Yeah, definitely. I guess now you see more and more. We were talking about that you couldn't sell directly to consumers, and you do see more and more distilleries. I'm sure they're just using online retailers to facilitate that.
Right, and
you still can't truly go from you to the consumer.
Right, and that's where obviously we have friends who do that, and they do very good business doing it. But at the same time, too, there'll be an issue with the shipping.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And the people calling the still industry is like, I don't even have records of your set because I'm not technically only selling it to you.
Correct.
Even though it was on our website.
Yes.
It's a whole host of things. Now, again, that direct-to-consumer model has expanded through. Obviously, you've got Sealbox and you got people like that who have opened up and have done some stuff on that
Definitely.
end. But even as the laws have opened up, it's allowed people to do some really kind of cool stuff and different models of distilling that didn't exist when we first started. Got our friends down at the Blendery, completely different model than what you would see. We, again, couldn't have existed, 10 years ago.
True.
Which is really fun to see. And just, I don't know, I get excited about that sort of stuff. So
Yes, definitely. So you've got that. What opportunities as a craft producer? I mean, obviously, I think I would assume one of the things is you can be much more nimble and try new things and just, you know what I mean, and be a little more experimental.
Oh, 100%. When you're doing things on a smaller scale, it's way easy to do test this, test that. And not that Buffalo Trace hasn't done a great job of like Warehouse X and everything that they've done, but some of the corns we've distilled, like there's not enough of that corn grown in the country to even fill one of their fermenters.
Yeah.
So there's stuff like that we can play around with because we're such a much smaller scale that they can't just because they're the size that they are.
Right.
So we can do some stuff like that. We can try crazier things and, like I remember the first time we did the Likarish, the corn whiskey that was that's in peated casks and port casks, putting out a corn whiskey that was aged in peated malt barrels. Like corn whiskey is a very low category, very small category in the whiskey market to begin with. And do something that's also extraordinarily esoteric and like something that has peat smoke on it.
Right.
We're very much narrowing the category of people that are going to be interested in that sort of thing. But because of who we are and kind of the thing, we can try doing stuff like that. And I'm not going to have, marketing people that are going to be yelling at me like, what are you doing to us?
Right.
And so we're like, can we try this? Do we dig it? Cool, great. Put it in our tasting room. We can sell 30 cases of it, no problem.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's, trying new things, doing new things is always easy on smaller scales. So
very cool. I'm going to move forward here because we're going to, I want to make sure we're still good.
Yeah, you're good.
Battery-wise, because mine shut off.
No.
It's all right. Let me see where you are. Okay, you're still good. Mm-hmm. So we're good. And I'm on yours. So
okay.
We're good. Okay, so thoughts on the industry?
Oh, man. It's
like where we are, currently.
It's a wild year.
Yeah.
So obviously the last 20 years have been a building of the industry. Sure. You look at, you had these huge heights in the 50s, early 60s, and then everything kind of crashed out. Yeah. And the industry basically barely survived. It kind of limped along for many decades. And then started building back up starting in the early 2000s, kind of with the rise of the cocktail, the craft cocktail, old school cocktails.
Sure.
All that started kind of bringing all this stuff back. And you started seeing like kind of things really kind of start taking off. I thought 2010 things were crazy. 2014 things were even crazier. 2018 things were crazy. And then you hit COVID. Yeah. And, the initial reaction to everybody when COVID happened, everyone's like, oh my God, like no one's going to be drinking. Like what's going to happen? And turned out
the opposite.
Boom. Yeah. And the market just exploded.
Right. I don't think anybody thought that. But I think it was people were just stuck at home. What else are you going to do?
The market, they thought in 2018, 2019, that the market was hitting heights that we couldn't imagine. Right. And then it got blown into the stratosphere after that. Right. And so now, obviously, we're post that kind of period, and things are starting to cool off. I mean, I think the whiskey's fallen. I think it's down like 5 or 6% this year. Some of your big brands are down 7, 8, 9%. Some are even way more than that. Just because people, once you've got 40, 50, 100 bottles on your shelf,
Yes. Correct.
do you need to buy another 20 or 30 bottles?
Yeah, right.
Or is it now you're getting to a point where, okay, as I finish a bottle off, maybe I'll find and look for something new.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, there's plenty of collectors out there that got 2,000 plus bottles. But but for most people, it's like, okay, I moving on to something a little bit different or trying something different, or I've got like more whiskey than I know what to do with at this point. So you've seen a really kind of a cooling of the market. Also with all the distilleries got super excited in 2019, 2020, and started these massive expansions.
Right.
You look at Buffalo Trace, like tripled, Maker's Mark doubled or tripled, Woodford,
the new Heaven Hill.
You look at all these distilleries just double or tripled their capacity of what they were doing and just started pumping out whiskey.
Yeah.
And now all of that is coming of age. Right now, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you're starting to see Buffalo Trace and E.H. Taylor on the shelf. You're starting to see these things that years ago you wouldn't have seen.
Well, even as early as last summer.
Yeah, you wouldn't have seen it sitting on the shelf.
Or if it was there, it was gone so quick.
You would never have seen it because it's out the back door before anyone even sees it.
Yeah.
So there's way more supply.
Yeah.
Interest is kind of wavering. People are being a little bit more conservative with their dollars right now, with the economy and everything. So you got a couple different things going on. You've got the tariff stuff that's massively impacted the industry. Because not only is there more whiskey available, but when you're not shipping anything to Canada, which was like your third top export market,
correct,
it's massively impacted. All that product comes here, and then we've got more product here sitting on the shelf, and so it's kind of some things that create a lot of those issues that are kind of hitting at once. So you really see, it's one of those things that makes me worried for a lot of the craft guys, because we're going to be a little bit more susceptible to it. I mean, you look at Beam isn't going anywhere. Jack Daniels isn't going anywhere. You don't need to worry about those guys. They're going to be just fine. But these 2,000 plus craft distilleries that are here, they're the ones that, when you don't have as many whiskey explorers, when you don't have any, when they don't have as much distribution and stuff like that, it can be very, very hard. And we've already started seeing distilleries start to shut down or declare bankruptcy.
Correct. Or not even open.
And so it's one of those things it's going to continue, unfortunately. It's just the nature of the market, which is a huge tragedy, because we were in a golden age of whiskey. I mean, there was more diverse flavors within whiskey than ever. So part of me at that level is, it's really sad to see that happening. Now, at the same time, do I also understand the market was overinflated? Things were burning too hot, too fast. And you have to come down.
You could not sustain that growth
No, we'd all have much worse drinking problems than we have if we did. Things kind of move in natural cycles too. So it's one of those things that, are the 2,200, 2,600 craft distilleries across the country going to survive? Some will, some won't. There'll be some contraction, some consolidation. You're definitely going to see that. And it's going to be really interesting over the kind of next couple of years of who survives, how people do, how things go. But kind of the thing I will say is, like, even at the end of all this, we're still going to have more regional and small area distilleries than we had prior to this whole thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We're not going back down to the 1980s. No, that's not happening.
I would agree with that 100%.
But some more products being available on shelf more regularly, which I think we could all be a little bit happier about that.
Sure.
And it'll be interesting to see kind of what really comes in the next couple of years. I think you're going to see a return to a lot more age statements. You're already starting to see it, but you're going to see a lot more 12 and 15 and 18-year-old product hitting market, and
Agreed.
It's a good thing.
So exactly. You've got some upcoming projects, not only here in the still house, but you've definitely got some new products, new brands, or not brands, but new lines coming out. Yes. So, would you mind? Talking to us about them.
So the very first one I'm going to showcase to you right now. We'll start lower proof and move our way up. And by lower proof, I mean 107 is where we're going to start, and we'll work our way up. This is going to be called Cellar Reserve.
Okay.
Cellar Reserve is a blend of bourbons between 7 to 9 years old.
Excellent.
And then they've actually spent years in finishing casks. So
Okay.
3 different types of finishing casks. You've got Pinot de Charente, which is kind of like a fortified wine,
Okay.
but there's no wine involved. You basically take cognac and you put it in grape juice, more or
Right.
less. You've got
So pre-wine.
pre-wine, yeah,
Pre-wine,
pre-wine,
yes. Okay.
fortified wine.
Yep.
You've got a fortified wine from France called Rivasol. It's kind of like a French sherry.
Okay.
And then you also have Sauternes casks.
Excellent.
So
Very
really
cool.
fun. Again, it's a little more on the wineier side of things, but I really enjoy the heck out of it.
And what's the base spirit for you guys then in here?
The base spirit in here is going to be, this particular one's going to have
You said some bourbons.
Yeah, some bourbon. So it's got some MGP,
Okay.
21% MGP. It's going to have a little bit of Green River,
Okay.
and then also
Wow.
some of our bourbon, obviously.
Its nose is amazing. I know people can't ever tell on video, but just wow, truly,
Yeah, this one really pops out of glass.
it does, really. And you can tell the wine influence, which is it's in my world, in my vocabulary, it's a good thing.
So and this will come out in October.
Wow, that's really good. Yeah.
Super fun.
Good stuff.
Oh, yeah. All right, next up, we're going to jump to Saints Alley 10-year-old Harold.
Why don't you show me the
the bottle again. Yeah, let me
let's
show you the real bottle.
Yeah, the real bottle.
So this is, well, doesn't have the real liquid in it yet, but this one. But this is the new bottle, the new glass.
New bottle, new glass.
Yeah.
Saints Alley, 10 years. Cigar blend.
Yeah. So
Truly.
starting in March, everything will be in that bottle.
It's a beautiful bottle. You
But
guys did knock that out of the park.
this
Truly.
is the first product we're doing in it.
Yes. Fantastic. Fantastic. I love the box. Everything.
Now,
Just so everybody knows, this is a special edition or a limited release.
This is a limited release. It'll be hitting probably right around Thanksgiving.
Okay.
That's probably when this will come out.
So all Saints Alley is not in a box.
No, just this one. Just this one.
Yes, exactly. Because most of Saints Alley is it's the Nobleman. It's the Herald.
Harold and just the port and cognac finish.
Yeah, right. PNC. Right.
PNC.
Okay. Right.
As we lovingly call it.
Yes, exactly. Right.
So,
As you can tell, I've bottled here a few times with you
one
guys,
or
so I
two.
know some of the vernacular you guys use.
hear us just talking about it constantly. So this is going to be the 10-year-old cigar blend here.
Fantastic.
So this is 114 proof.
Great legs, great color. Okay, so this is blend of straight bourbons, I see, finished in Armagnac and sherry.
So the sherry barrels, kind of fun. They were 5-year-old barrels, and we stuck them in sherry casks, and they stayed in those sherry barrels for another 5 years.
Oh, my.
So it's been in sherry for a very long time for the sherry portion. And then we've got some 13-year-old bourbon in there, kind of some really fun experimental bourbon. It was a 51% corn, 49% malt in there,
Oh.
which is really interesting, really fun.
So 51% corn, 49% malted barley. That is interesting. That's not a typical mash bill.
Not at all. So that was some of the 13-year-old that was blended into this.
And then the Armagnac, which I think hopefully a lot more and more whiskey people are learning about Armagnac.
100%.
It's a
gorgeous spirit.
I've learned to just truly love it, and what you can get age statement wise comparatively to any other spirit.
Super
and
reasonable.
I'm not speaking out of turn here
No.
or out of that. I mean, I know I can go into a certain store down in Dallas and get a 35-year-old Armagnac for under $100.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy.
It's but it's equate it. I mean, cognac's very similar,
Mm-hmm.
but I think even Armagnac's closer to whiskey than cognac.
I always say,
In my taste.
I say, like the way I like to do this description is that cognac is going to be more similar to Scotch, whereas Armagnac's more similar to bourbon.
Yes. Yeah.
Armagnac's going to have a little more oak influence, a little more rustic of a spirit. It's less refined, whereas Scotch and cognac, a lot of them tend to be a little more delicate and more nuanced. And
No, that's that's another spirit I've truly learned to appreciate. Wow. I love you. You guys do such good jobs with your cigar blends. Truly. Oh, there's a lot going on there.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Oh.
It's one of the first times I've been able to sit down and just like appreciate it rather than like trying to like play with blend. Jonathan and Chris nailed this. It's so good.
This is it. I mean, it's up front. It's middle. I'm at a loss for words. That is really, really good.
It's got classic bourbon notes, but also you got a little bit of the malt kind of has that middle to back end of the whiskey. Kind of you can see that come through.
Beautiful hug at the end too. My God,
it's just rich and clean.
Rich, clean. I mean, I'm still tasting it. Wow. Yeah. Well done. Truly.
Super good, isn't it?
Yeah. I need to start saving my money right now.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious. Wow. No, I don't think any of this is going in that dump tank. Oh, that would go so well with a cigar. So well with a cigar. No.
It leans a little bit. This one leans a little more on to darker, heavier cigars.
Yes.
Whereas our previous, the Harbinger cigar blend, was more of a middle and light cigar.
Yep. Do you think maybe something like a Maduro?
100%.
Yeah.
This guy, it handles it. The lighter cigars, it's not as good of a match with lighter cigars.
I would agree with 100%. Just everything that's going on, it would so overpower a light cigar because it would, I mean, it's just, wow, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Obviously, because my podcast is also about pipes and cigars. Do you smoke any cigars? Do you partake?
I definitely partake.
Okay.
Am I an expert by any means? Absolutely not.
Oh, no, neither am I.
No.
On all of my journeys, I know a lot about pipes and a lot about cigar pipes and pipe tobacco, and I know a good bit about whiskey. But believe it or not, I've actually smoked cigars since the cigar boom in the early 90s. I mean, you know, when Rush Limbaugh and Cigar Aficionado started, I mean, I was one of those guys who got into it. But and I've always smoked cigars, but never. There's been so much that's happened in the cigar world that, I mean, I know this much of this much, you know. So it's this is part of my journey too, is learning more about the cigars.
And that's the thing. My brother's way more experienced with cigars than I am. Chris Trevino, even more so. Nelly brings a lot of experience. So it's been fun working with a team it's not only about blending a whiskey that's absolutely delicious, but also if we are going to do a cigar blend, it has to go with cigars. And trying to blend something that just generically goes with everything is extraordinarily difficult because trying to match flavors and acid and everything else.
Correct.
Acid and sweetness levels. And so for us, it's always like, all right, let's focus in on an area and kind of let's see where it goes there.
Yeah. This.
Oh,
you know what that gets? 2 thumbs up.
That's so good.
That is so good. Truly. Yeah. Wow. I mean, Jonathan, Chris, seriously.
All right.
Good job.
All right. I'm going to do a Nobleman now. So we're going to switch gears. We're going to go a little bit of rye. Nobleman just started hitting shelves this week. This one's always one of my favorite releases every year.
Yeah.
We don't do a ton of rye.
Right.
But when we do it, we have a lot of fun with it.
Sure.
So Nobleman is older rye. Again, you're looking in that 7 to 10-year-old range now for this year's batch. Aged in Tokai, anywhere between 6 months to a year in Tokai casks. Occasionally, we'll go a little bit longer depending on the cask. But really rich, really beautiful.
Right.
I absolutely love this guy.
So Tokai casks, are those are hard to get hold of.
Yeah, those are not easy casks to get.
Right. I mean, they're very
esoteric.
well, the Japanese are very, for lack of a better way of putting it, protective. They don't let a lot of them go.
So so it's Hungarian though.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh my God.
It looks like Japanese. Don't get me wrong, because first time I saw it,
there you go.
It looks like.
Thank you for schooling me. So Tokai is actually Hungarian.
It's Hungarian.
Oh, because that's not as hard to get.
They're still difficult to get. Don't get me wrong. The Japanese, like with Mizunara oak and stuff like that,
is definitely. I know that is Japanese. Okay.
Japanese casks are very difficult to get because they're very, very protective of their oak.
Got it.
This easier to get than Mizunara, not as expensive as Mizunara.
Right.
But still, because it's an esoteric kind of style of wine.
Yep.
It can be quite difficult to get. There's also some really different versions of Tokai as well. Because they have different funkiness levels that they like to go to.
Got it.
Tokai is a noble rot wine, which is why the name is Nobleman.
Got it. Okay.
Same style technique as Sauterne, but Hungarian.
Okay.
And they do some crazier, weirder things, which is why I absolutely love it. It
Fantastic.
pairs super well with rye.
Okay, so this is again a blend of straight rye whiskeys finished in Tokai casks. Fantastic. 53.5%. 107
proof.
There you go. Oh, that is great nose. Yeah. And I love rye.
Yeah.
I love rye. I mean, if I get an old fashioned, I usually say, no, I
Shoot
want a
it,
rye old fashioned. I don't want to.
Yeah.
The mouthfeel on that even. Some
Heavy
good
and
astringency.
oily. Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's some sweetness in there. I'm getting.
Oh, no, 100%.
Oh, that's good. That's really, really good.
Yeah, it's fun to play with this one because it really is a balance of your typical rye notes, but then you have kind of the sweetness of the wine because it is a little bit of a sweeter wine, but then you get some of the crazier notes from the wine in there that are more savory notes.
Yep.
And trying to balance that out with the whiskey and how you get to the right level. It's always
because immediately it was on the mid palate there. An astringency. It
jumps out.
It jumps out, dries your mouth out a little bit, but again, in a pleasant way.
Yeah.
Pleasant way, kind of like a good Merlot or a Melbach, something like that, where it just you almost want to drink of water right away.
Right. And it's not, because sometimes when they go too sweet or too intense on the finish, what ends up happening is it becomes almost flabby a little bit, is the way we kind of describe it. So,
no, the mouthfeel in this,
it's so much fun, and I don't know, it's really inviting back to it, which is why I really enjoy it.
No, again, everything, yeah. Yeah.
It's really, again, most people have never had something that tastes like this.
No.
And it's fun because we use completely different ones than like Penelope does when they do theirs. So you get such a different result, even though you're doing similar things.
Yeah.
It's fun to me when you get such different results with same same concept.
Sure.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I mean, you guys have a source for the Tokai barrels.
We do.
So obviously So again, me learning here because me thinking it was Japanese.
Yeah. No, again, the word looks Japanese. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's producers in Hungary then who produce. It's called Tokai. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, because that's something that I don't think I've ever even seen in most wine stores here in the United States.
It's very esoteric.
Yeah.
It's a Hungarian version of Sauterne.
Okay. Okay.
A little funkier, a little crazier, but man.
No, it's tasty. I don't care what it is. It's tasty. Okay. What do we got next?
Last thing I'm going to end on, Classic Harbinger.
Harbinger.
This is 25C.
Yep.
So this is the batch that is just now hitting stores right now.
Yep.
This is our taster bottle that we kept for ourselves.
Yes.
But figured, done a bunch of finished whiskeys, and with the big pot still, just kind of beautiful, classic guy.
And what's your mash bill on this one?
So this one is going to be a blend of a red corn called Bloody Butcher corn, purple corn, and Floriani. It's more heavily on the Bloody Butcher. It's going to be sitting generally right about 9% Bloody Butcher in there, about 5% purple, 5% Floriani's, and then the rest is yellow corn with about 1 or 2% rye.
Okay.
Very, very small amount of rye that goes into this.
Yeah, that's your typical. That is your guys.
Classic iron root.
Yes, indeed. Get that vanilla caramel. Yeah. Brown sugar. I mean, the typical bourbon. I mean, the usual, but in a way that it's sweeter, which the higher corn content should make it that way. Yeah.
It's going to be sweeter. The grain elements are going to be a little bit more showy than you're going to see with the classic Kentucky stuff because of the pot still.
Yep. So I taste that, and I taste your Harbinger all the time. And I always get, so I call it a corn funk. And I don't mean that in a bad way.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is I grew up in a farm in Illinois, and we used to go into the grain bins, and clean out the grain bins, corn, and it would just have this. I guess it's more. I shouldn't say I call it a funk. It's a dusty corn
note. Yeah.
Note, and I don't get it on the nose, but you definitely get it on the taste.
Corn, it just, the pot still preserves the grain characters so purely.
Yeah.
Which is why I love going back to it every time.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess another maker that reminds me of that all the time is Wild Turkey. It's that same kind of a grain. A
little more grain approach.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. This is fantastic. And now you guys used to have this at a higher or lower proof?
The original 2 batches were at a higher proof. The original 2 batches were actually cast strength. And then we ran into some fun issues on the sales and distribution side where we would release the product, but because it had a different proof, when you release it because of different cast strengths, it would technically be a new item in the system. And so when you have larger chains like Total Wine or Specs or Twins or any of those guys, they approve one item.
Yeah.
And so 3 months later, if I release the next batch and it has a slightly different proof, it's a different item number. Hasn't been approved, then they don't automatically order it in.
Yes.
And you have to go and meet with them and get new approval for new item. And it just...
So no, I understand. So make it a standard proof, and that way they can order it as much as they want.
We put it out, they have a standing order, it automatically gets filled, and you're good to go.
Very good.
And it leaves you room to do kind of fun cast strength stuff on that.
Which occasionally you guys do.
Yeah, we do release tri-barrels and all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah.
So.
I know you guys, having, again, been here and helped you guys out a bit, you guys have we don't have to go over it, but I know You guys have a bunch of really cool stuff in the back. I'll just leave it at that.
Always do.
I just
Always
leave it at
do,
that.
man.
I mean, it's I mean, I know you guys have done some single malt stuff. I know your brother Jonathan just recently did a few batches of a high rye mash bill, which obviously that's going to be a while
It'll be a bit
before we see
for
that.
those who come back. Oh,
But I mean, so yeah, you guys are, again, we go back to the whole being a craft or, small, mid-size. You can do things like that a lot easier, just, and it's you guys deciding versus a committee. And
the reason why you see that is the smaller companies, small family companies, typically the person who's the lead that's making the decisions is the blender or the distiller.
Right.
And that's where their priorities lie, are the product and the product focused things. And the bigger companies, because they are so expansive, I mean, they're billion-dollar companies, like the people there, their expertise and stuff lies in areas that generally isn't necessarily liquid and liquid production flavor. It's in a lot of other things, because they have to have so much more things that they're focused on.
Sure.
For us, again, it's liquid and then trying to get that liquid out to people.
Yeah, correct.
And so here at Iron Root, at a lot of your small distilleries, the person making the decision of what's going in that bottle and what's going out is your blender, is the distiller. It's the person who's feels like it's life or death based on what tasting notes they're getting that day from the barrel.
Sure.
Like Jonathan will taste barrels and will choose time of day that he's pulling it based on what he's tasting and when, and looking at the weather patterns of when do we need to pull this to get the best product.
Yeah.
And sometimes that causes delay. Sometimes that causes to be delayed by 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because we have weather patterns that come in. Whereas a lot of bigger companies and stuff like that, there's a lot of other considerations that they have to be aware of and have to be respectful of. Small companies, because we are small and more nimble, that's what's making the determination a lot of what we're doing.
Yeah.
And it's different. It's not necessarily better or worse. Again, for the pocketbook, sometimes it can be a worse decision.
Sure.
Because you're way more focused on what the liquid is and what that is and what the experience is with people than anything else. Yeah. But that's what we're passionate about. Again, it's about sharing that product, about sharing that passion about the liquid with people. And, do I wish I was way better at doing the accounting and the bookwork? 100%. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get better. But the people...
You hire people for that.
Yeah. That's the hope.
That's the hope. You know what I mean.
That's
it's you just, hopefully they never take over and the bean counters. I mean, you know what I mean. It's the big corporate is, there's a reason why they're around.
And they're important, and there's a reason for it.
Yes.
But for me, again, this is a very biased take.
Yeah.
So hot take here. My dad was in the mining industry for all of his life. And I remember back in the early 90s, his company, there was this Fortune 500 mining company that was run previously by the engineers, and that a CEO retired, and the company ended up hiring a new CEO from Frito-Lay. 6 years later, that company was no longer a Fortune 500 company.
Yeah, no mining experience.
It's just a business experience. And again, not that that's not important.
Yeah.
But they're no longer a Fortune 500 company.
Right.
We'll say that.
Yeah. But I guess there's one that I can think of that's very similar to that would be Boeing. For the longest time, Boeing was run by the engineers. And then in the 90s, they switched over to when they moved their headquarters to Chicago. And the accountants took over. And that's when let's just say issues started happening.
And
because they were trying to save money versus making the safest planes possible. Whether that was, anyway, I mean, it's an analogy, but yes.
And then again, it doesn't mean that accountants can't be the most amazing people to run companies ever.
Correct.
And generally, they're probably the best people to choose to run companies.
Yes.
But there are times when choices are made that's not necessarily for the benefit
Yes.
for us of what's in the bottle,
Right.
or for what's being done at the mine or what's being done with the plane.
Correct.
There are a lot of considerations, and they allow other
Yes.
things to be the priority.
Yeah.
And for us, for a lot of small companies, I think what you'll continue to see is that be the priority. Of what's going in the bottle. And I mean, that's why for the next, the years I'm going to tell you, you're going to see older, better liquid coming in.
Yeah.
The best stuff from us is still yet to come, which is the most exciting part about this all, is that, it's one of those things, like, I feel like if we would have peaked, I would get bored by now.
Yeah.
Because ADD, ADHD, you get bored real easy with things.
You're never
11
bored.
years, I'm not bored.
Yeah, that's fantastic. No. I mean, because there's always something else. There's always something new. And you guys are doing
And you're always getting better.
yeah, well, that's it. I mean, you guys are learning something every day,
Yeah.
right?
We learn how to make better whiskey every single day.
Exactly. And that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Robert, I appreciate your time very much so.
Chris?
You'll see me around. Probably for a long, long, long time. So good luck. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with.
We'll see what we do.
Awesome. Thanks again, man. Appreciate you. All right.
Appreciate it.
Well, there you go. Thank you again to Robert Likarish of Iron Root Republic Distillery, spending all that time with me, 2 hours talking about all things Iron Root, status of the industry, and giving me some of those wonderful pre-release drams. Wonderful stuff. I hope you can tell by my how I acted. It's amazing stuff. Look for it, get it, go get it, save your money, do whatever you need to do. But definitely go get the new releases coming out starting November 1st from Iron Republic Distillery. All right. Now, what have I been putting in my mouth this week? So first, dram of the week. Simple, very simple. Just been enjoying some good old Wild Turkey 101. Can't beat it. I do love my Wild Turkey. It's just, it's always right there. It's not nothing fluffy, nothing nothing out of the ordinary. But it's just a great whiskey, great bourbon, and thoroughly enjoy it. It's one of my all-time go-tos. So, in the cigar department, I have been enjoying an AVO Intermezzo Exo Tubo. It is a medium strength, natural color 5x50 cigar. It's excellent construction, a medium draw, but it's very easy to overcome that. It burned nicely. Had a good burn line. All the way up to my usual stop point, which I only usually go about three quarters of the way down. I don't burn them all the way to the end like some guys do. I got notes of cedar, cashews, sweet molasses, earth, leather, and spices. All in all, a really nice cigar, and I would purchase it again. So yeah, really nice, good cigar. And in as far as what I've been smoking in pipe tobacco, I ordered and received some of the Haunting from Cornell and Deal, and collaboration with Warped Cigars. And it is really, really nice. It's a great little smoke. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's straight from the tin. It's got great moisture to the point where you don't have to dry it down. You can just rub it out and stuff it in your bowl and go from there. Tasting notes on this one, spot on. Baking spices and cinnamon with a bit of a nice sweetness coming from the Virginias, and just it's got a little bit of Perique in there, so it's got a tiny little bit of spiciness. But great tobacco. I think both cigar lovers and pipe lovers are going to just eat this up. So if you can, I believe it's still available from Smoking Pipes and other retailers, but find it. I mean, even just go out and find it. There's plenty of people who are selling it. So anyway, I wanted to thank you for joining me on my journey to learn all that I can about these three wonderful industries. I hope that you were able to learn something new from this episode. But more importantly, I hope that you were entertained and will continue to listen and watch the program moving forward. Again, I'd like to thank Robert Likarish for taking his time and sitting down with me for the interview. Next week, we'll be speaking with Tucker McCormick, the owner of the Algiers Club in Dallas. And we'll go over history, how he got to where he is, just the club itself, what what it's like there, and then obviously it's a wonderful place. If you can ever go, if you're in town, definitely look up the Algiers Club and see if you can stop by. So thank you for watching and or listening. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, leave a comment. Also, please let me know if you have any ideas that you'd like to hear about in upcoming episodes, and I'll see what I can conjure up. I'll see you next week on the Whiskey and Smoke News Network. And remember, please drink and smoke responsibly. Peace.